What if I told you that after the age of 70, drinking more and more plain water does not always mean your body becomes better hydrated? Imagine filling a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You keep pouring, yet the water never seems to stay. Many older adults experience something surprisingly similar. They drink all day, yet still feel thirsty, tired, dizzy, or weak. The answer is not that water has become useless. The answer lies in the remarkable changes taking place inside the aging brain, muscles, and kidneys. Today, we're going to uncover 5 hidden biological changes that completely transform the way your body handles water after 70. Have you ever stopped to wonder why so many people over the age of 70 say, "I just don't feel thirsty anymore"? It sounds like a harmless comment, almost an ordinary part of growing older. But inside those simple words is one of the biggest reasons older adults become dehydrated without even realizing it. The human body has always been an extraordinary communicator. It constantly sends signals to protect itself. Hunger tells us to eat. Pain tells us something needs attention. Fatigue tells us to rest. Thirst is another one of those remarkable signals. It is the body's gentle reminder that water is running low and that every cell is asking for support. Yet as the years pass, this quiet conversation between the brain and the body begins to change. When we are young, even a small loss of water is enough to wake up the brain's thirst center. Almost immediately, we begin thinking about drinking something. A glass of water suddenly sounds refreshing. We naturally reach for it without much thought. This automatic response helps protect the heart, the kidneys, the muscles, and even the brain itself. It is a beautifully designed survival system that has served human beings for thousands of years. After the age of 70, however, this system often becomes less sensitive. Scientists have observed that many older adults do not experience thirst as strongly or as quickly as younger people. The body may already be running low on water before the brain finally sends the message to drink. In other words, thirst arrives late. By the time it appears, mild dehydration may have already begun affecting the body's normal functions. This delay is easy to overlook because it does not always produce dramatic symptoms. There is rarely a loud warning or a sudden collapse. Instead, dehydration often enters quietly. A person may wake up feeling slightly tired even after a full night's sleep. They may notice their mouth feels dry more often. Standing up from a chair might cause brief dizziness. Concentration may become more difficult. Energy slowly fades during the afternoon. Many people assume these changes are simply part of aging, but sometimes the body is asking for something much simpler. It is asking for water before thirst ever appears. Think about a houseplant sitting beside a window. If you wait until every leaf is hanging down before watering it, the plant has already experienced stress. The healthier approach is to water it regularly before those warning signs appear. The human body follows a similar principle. It performs best when hydration is maintained consistently instead of waiting until dehydration announces itself. Another reason this becomes important is that the aging body naturally contains less water than it did during youth. As muscle mass gradually decreases and body composition changes, the percentage of water stored inside the body becomes smaller. This means there is less reserve available during hot weather, illness, or even ordinary daily activities. A younger adult may tolerate several hours without drinking very well. An older adult often has much less room for error. Daily routines can also make the situation worse. Some older adults intentionally avoid drinking because they worry about frequent trips to the bathroom, especially during the night. Others become so busy caring for family, gardening, shopping, or watching grandchildren that they simply forget to drink. Some people take medications that increase fluid loss, while others spend time in warm environments where water leaves the body faster through sweat without being noticed. None of these situations seem dangerous on their own, yet together they quietly increase the risk of dehydration. The remarkable thing about the brain is that it depends heavily on water to function well. Even mild dehydration can influence attention, memory, mood, and mental clarity. Many people describe feeling unusually foggy or less alert without realizing that fluid balance may be playing a role. The heart must also work harder when the body contains less water because there is less circulating fluid available to transport oxygen and nutrients efficiently. Every organ becomes part of the same story. This is why many healthcare professionals encourage older adults to build simple hydration habits instead of relying entirely on thirst. Keeping a glass or bottle of water nearby, taking a few sips with each meal, drinking small amounts throughout the day, and including water-rich foods such as fruits, vegetables, and soups can help maintain healthy hydration without overwhelming the body. These small routines work with the body's changing biology rather than expecting it to behave the way it did decades earlier. Growing older does not mean the body has stopped protecting you. It simply means its signals have become quieter, softer, and easier to miss. The wisdom is learning to respond before the message becomes urgent, recognizing that after 70, good hydration begins not with feeling thirsty, but with understanding that your body's oldest survival signal no longer speaks as loudly as it once did. Now let's turn our attention to one of the most extraordinary organs in the human body, the kidneys. Most people think of the kidneys as simple filters, organs whose only job is to remove waste from the blood. While that is certainly part of their role, the truth is far more fascinating. Every minute of every day, your kidneys perform millions of tiny calculations without asking for your attention. They constantly measure the amount of water, minerals, and waste products flowing through your bloodstream. Their mission is not to hold on to every drop of water you drink. Their mission is to protect balance, because every cell in your body depends on that balance to survive. Imagine the kidneys as highly skilled managers rather than storage tanks. A manager does not keep everything that enters the building. Instead, they decide what should stay, what should leave, and what needs to be adjusted to keep everything running smoothly. Your kidneys make similar decisions every single second. They examine the body's fluid levels, the concentration of sodium and other electrolytes, blood pressure, and many other signals before determining how much water should remain in the body and how much should be released as urine. This is why drinking large amounts of water all at once does not automatically mean your body will become better hydrated. If the body already has enough fluid, or if more water arrives than it can comfortably use at that moment, the kidneys simply remove the excess. They are not wasting your effort. They are protecting the body's internal chemistry from becoming too diluted. Every heartbeat, every nerve signal, and every muscle contraction depends on that chemistry remaining within a very narrow range. As people grow older, the kidneys continue doing this remarkable work, but they also undergo natural changes. The number of functioning filtering units gradually decreases with age, and blood flow through the kidneys may become lower than it was in younger adulthood. These changes do not necessarily mean the kidneys are diseased. In many healthy older adults, they simply become less adaptable. They may take longer to respond to sudden changes in fluid intake or water loss, making it even more important to stay consistently hydrated instead of alternating between drinking very little and then consuming several large glasses all at once. Many people misunderstand what happens when they drink water and soon afterward need to urinate. They assume the water went straight through without helping the body. In reality, that is not how the process works. Before urine is produced, water enters the bloodstream, supports circulation, helps transport nutrients, regulates body temperature, and participates in countless biological processes. The kidneys then remove the amount that the body does not need to keep the internal environment stable. Urinating after drinking water is often a sign that the kidneys are doing exactly what they are designed to do. The body is constantly searching for equilibrium. Too little water places stress on the heart, brain, and kidneys themselves. Too much water in a short period can also disturb the balance of electrolytes, particularly sodium, which is essential for normal nerve and muscle function. This is why the kidneys never focus on quantity alone. They focus on maintaining the right concentration of fluid inside the body. Certain medications commonly used after the age of 70 can also influence this delicate balance. Diuretics, often prescribed for high blood pressure or heart failure, encourage the body to remove extra fluid. Other medications may affect kidney function or change the body's fluid needs. This does not mean these medicines are harmful or unnecessary. They are often life-saving. It simply means that hydration after 70 becomes more personal. What works well for one person may not be appropriate for another, especially when medical conditions such as chronic kidney disease, heart disease, or diabetes are present. Another important factor is timing. Drinking small amounts of water regularly throughout the day gives the kidneys a steady flow of fluid to manage. This approach is often easier for the body than consuming very large volumes in one sitting. Pairing fluids with balanced meals also supports normal hydration because food naturally contains water and nutrients that work together with the body's regulatory systems. The remarkable lesson hidden inside the kidneys is that they are never working against you. They are working for you every second of every day, making silent decisions that keep your blood, your cells, and your organs in harmony. When we understand that their purpose is balance rather than storage, we stop measuring hydration by how much we drink alone and begin appreciating the extraordinary intelligence of the body that quietly protects us, one drop at a time. When most people think about muscles, they picture strength, movement, or the ability to lift heavy objects. They imagine walking upstairs, carrying groceries, or standing up from a chair without assistance. While all of these are important, muscles have another remarkable role that is rarely discussed. They serve as one of the body's largest reservoirs for water. In fact, a significant portion of the water inside the human body is stored within muscle tissue. This means that healthy muscles do much more than help us move, they also help us stay hydrated. As we grow older, understanding this hidden relationship becomes increasingly important because hydration is not determined only by the amount of water we drink. It is also influenced by where that water is stored and how effectively the body can hold on to it. During youth and middle age, the body usually contains a higher percentage of muscle. These muscles are rich in water, acting almost like natural storage tanks that keep fluid available for the body's daily needs. Every heartbeat, every breath, every nerve signal, and every movement depends on this carefully maintained supply of water. The body constantly shifts water between the bloodstream, muscles, and other tissues to maintain balance. It is an extraordinary system that works quietly behind the scenes without us ever noticing. However, after the age of 70, many people begin to lose muscle mass through a natural process known as age-related muscle loss. This change happens gradually, often over many years, making it easy to overlook. Clothes may fit a little differently, arms and legs may appear thinner, and everyday tasks may require more effort than before. Because the change is so slow, many people simply accept it as an unavoidable part of aging. Yet beneath the surface, something much more significant is happening. As muscle tissue becomes smaller, the body's capacity to store water also decreases. Imagine two sponges placed side by side. One is large, thick, and capable of holding a great deal of water. The other is much smaller and thinner. If you pour the same amount of water over both, the larger sponge will absorb and retain far more. The smaller sponge reaches its limit quickly, and the extra water simply runs off. The human body behaves in a surprisingly similar way. When muscle mass declines, there is less tissue available to hold water, making it more difficult for the body to maintain healthy hydration over long periods. This helps explain why some older adults feel dehydrated more easily than they did decades earlier, even when they drink a reasonable amount of water. It is not always because they are drinking too little. Sometimes the body simply has fewer natural reserves. Water enters the body, supports essential functions, and any excess that cannot be effectively retained is eventually removed by the kidneys. The body's ability to manage fluids has changed because its storage system has changed. Muscle health is also closely connected with physical activity. Every time we walk, climb stairs, stretch, or perform simple strength exercises, we send a signal to the body that muscle tissue is still needed. These movements encourage the muscles to remain active and healthy. Even gentle resistance exercises, performed safely and consistently, can help slow the natural loss of muscle that occurs with age. This is not about building the body of a young athlete. It is about preserving the muscle needed to support independence, balance, strength, and healthy hydration. Nutrition plays an equally important role. Muscles require adequate protein to repair and maintain themselves. Without enough protein, the body struggles to replace the muscle tissue that naturally wears down over time. A balanced diet that includes appropriate sources of protein, along with fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, provides the building blocks the body needs to maintain muscle and support normal fluid balance. Water and nutrition are partners, each depending on the other to keep the body's systems working efficiently. There is another fascinating connection between muscles and hydration. Water helps muscles function properly, while healthy muscles help the body retain water more effectively. It is a partnership that works in both directions. When the body becomes dehydrated, muscles may fatigue more quickly, feel weaker, or even cramp. At the same time, when muscle mass declines significantly, the body's ability to maintain healthy fluid reserves also becomes more limited. Each supports the other in a continuous cycle that influences strength, energy, mobility, and overall well-being. Perhaps the most encouraging part of this story is that muscle loss is not entirely beyond our control. Even later in life, the human body retains an incredible ability to adapt. Regular movement, balanced nutrition, adequate hydration, and proper medical care can help preserve muscle health far better than many people realize. Aging changes the body, but it does not erase its ability to respond to healthy habits. Every step taken, every nourishing meal enjoyed, and every glass of water consumed becomes part of a larger conversation between muscles and the rest of the body, quietly supporting the strength and resilience that allow us to continue living with confidence and independence as the years move forward. Now let us look beyond water itself and discover something that many people never think about. Water is essential for life, but water does not work alone. Every drop that enters your body begins a remarkable journey, and that journey depends on tiny minerals called electrolytes. These minerals are present in such small amounts that they are easy to overlook. Yet without them the body cannot use water as effectively as it should. They quietly direct where water goes, how long it stays, and how well every cell performs its job. This is one of the reasons why two people can drink the same amount of water and still experience very different levels of hydration. Among the most important electrolytes are sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Although their names often appear on food labels, they are much more than nutrients listed on a package. They are messengers that help maintain the body's delicate balance. They allow nerves to send electrical signals, muscles to contract smoothly, the heart to beat in a steady rhythm, and body fluids to remain in the right places. Without the proper balance of these minerals, water cannot be distributed efficiently between the bloodstream and the cells where it is needed most. Think of your body as a city and imagine that water is a delivery truck carrying supplies. The truck may arrive full of valuable cargo, but without traffic signals and road signs, it cannot reach the correct destinations. Electrolytes are like those invisible traffic controllers. They guide water into the cells, help maintain the right concentration of fluids inside and outside the cells, and make sure every part of the body receives what it needs. Without that guidance, the delivery system becomes far less efficient. As we grow older, maintaining this balance becomes even more important. Changes in kidney function, medications, appetite, and eating habits can all influence electrolyte levels. Some older adults eat less because food no longer tastes the same, while others limit certain foods because of medical conditions. Illnesses that cause vomiting, diarrhea, fever, or heavy sweating can also disturb this delicate balance. In these situations, the body is losing not only water but also the electrolytes that help water perform its job. This explains why simply drinking large amounts of plain water may not always be the complete answer during periods of significant fluid loss. The body may also need to replace the minerals that were lost at the same time. That is why healthcare professionals often recommend oral rehydration solutions for people experiencing severe diarrhea or prolonged vomiting. These solutions contain carefully balanced amounts of water and electrolytes that help restore normal hydration more effectively under those specific circumstances. For healthy people going about their normal daily lives, however, plain water remains the primary and most important drink for staying hydrated. A balanced diet usually provides the electrolytes most healthy older adults need. Fruits such as bananas and oranges, vegetables like spinach and potatoes, dairy products, legumes, nuts, seeds, and other nutritious foods naturally contain minerals that support healthy fluid balance. Eating regular, balanced meals allows the body to receive both water and the nutrients needed to use that water efficiently. This is another reminder that hydration begins long before we pick up a glass. It begins with the overall quality of our daily habits. It is also important to understand that more is not always better. Some people believe they should consume large amounts of electrolyte drinks every day, even when they are healthy and not losing excessive fluids. In reality, most commercial sports drinks were designed for people performing prolonged, intense physical activity with heavy sweating. Many of these drinks also contain added sugars or higher levels of sodium that may not be necessary for everyone. Unless a healthcare professional recommends them or there is a specific medical need, they are not automatically a healthier choice than plain water and a balanced diet. The human body is constantly adjusting itself with remarkable precision. Every second, billions of cells exchange water and minerals to maintain the perfect environment for life. The kidneys, hormones, blood vessels, and digestive system all work together to protect this balance without asking for our attention. We rarely notice these silent processes because they happen so efficiently, yet they remind us of an extraordinary truth. Good hydration is not simply about drinking more water. It is about supporting the body's entire system so that water can travel where it is needed, remain where it is useful, and contribute to the countless biological processes that keep us alive, healthy, and resilient through every stage of aging. Perhaps the greatest lesson about hydration after the age of 70 is that success is no longer measured by the number of glasses you drink each day. For many years, people have searched for the perfect number, hoping that a simple rule could apply to everyone. But the human body has never worked that way. It is not a machine that responds identically in every person. It is a living system that constantly adapts to age, activity, weather, nutrition, medications, and overall health. This is why hydration after 70 becomes a matter of strategy rather than quantity. The goal is not to drink as much water as possible. The goal is to help the body use water wisely. One of the simplest yet most effective habits is drinking small amounts of water regularly throughout the day instead of consuming large amounts all at once. Imagine trying to water a garden. If you pour an entire bucket onto the soil in a single moment, much of the water may run off before the ground has time to absorb it. But when water is added slowly and consistently, the soil holds onto more of it, allowing the roots to benefit. While the human body is far more complex than a garden, the principle of steady, consistent hydration often works better than long periods without drinking followed by several large glasses at once. Another important part of this strategy is paying attention to the body's quiet signals instead of waiting for dramatic symptoms to appear. After 70, dehydration often develops gradually. It may begin with dry lips, a dry mouth, or darker colored urine. Some people notice they feel unusually tired, lightheaded when standing, or less able to concentrate. Others may experience headaches or muscle weakness. These signs are easy to dismiss because they can resemble many other conditions associated with aging, yet the body is often communicating in the only way it can, asking for better fluid balance before more serious problems develop. Food also plays a surprisingly important role in daily hydration. Many fruits and vegetables contain large amounts of water along with vitamins, minerals, and fiber that support overall health. Foods such as watermelon, cucumbers, oranges, tomatoes, lettuce, and soups contribute to total fluid intake while providing nutrients that work alongside water. Hydration is not limited to what is poured into a glass. It is also found on the plate, woven into everyday meals that nourish the body from multiple directions at once. Physical activity deserves equal attention. Some people assume that because they are older, they should avoid movement to conserve energy. In reality, regular activity supports healthy circulation, helps maintain muscle mass, and encourages the body's systems to continue functioning efficiently. A short daily walk, gentle stretching, or strength exercises approved by a healthcare professional can help preserve the muscles that store water while also supporting balance, independence, and overall well-being. Movement and hydration are partners, each making the other more effective. Weather is another factor that cannot be ignored. During hot summer days, the body loses more water through sweating, even if sweat is not always obvious. Fever, infections, vomiting, or diarrhea can also increase fluid loss very quickly. In these situations, hydration needs may rise significantly. At the same time, some medical conditions such as heart failure or advanced kidney disease may require careful limits on fluid intake. This is why there is no universal rule that fits every older adult. Personal health conditions and medical advice always take priority over general recommendations. Medications add another layer to the story. Many older adults take medicines that help control blood pressure, reduce swelling, manage diabetes, or treat heart conditions. Some of these medications increase urination or change the body's fluid balance. They are often essential for maintaining health and should never be stopped without professional guidance. Instead, they remind us that hydration should always be viewed within the context of the whole person rather than as a single habit separated from everything else. Perhaps the most reassuring truth is that the aging body is not failing, it is adapting. The changes that occur after 70 are not signs that the body has given up. They are signs that it now requires a little more attention, a little more patience, and a little more understanding. Every glass of water, every nourishing meal, every gentle walk, and every healthy routine becomes part of a larger partnership with the body. True hydration is not achieved by chasing a number or following a rigid formula. It is achieved by respecting the body's changing needs, responding consistently to its quieter signals, and supporting the remarkable biological systems that continue working faithfully every moment of every day, allowing life to move forward with strength, clarity, and dignity. This video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Plain water remains an essential source of hydration at every age. Individual fluid needs vary depending on health conditions, medications, activity level, and climate. Always consult your healthcare provider before making significant changes to your fluid intake or diet.